Welcome back to More to the Story. I am Farron Moore.
And I'm to hear more.
And yeah, we're going to have a great day.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's get it. We've had a good few weeks behind us right now. So I'm looking forward to what life is bringing. What life is bringing. Okay. So this is our Mother's Day episode, you guys. So that's what we're gonna talk about today, mom things. But before we jump into it, we're gonna pull some questions from the conversation card deck. So we have Ace Metaphors, tonight's conversation, the sexy 69 after dark questions. Okay, babe, you want to pull?
Sure.
How many we want to do?
We do two.
Okay. You first.
All right. What are your thoughts on toys in the bedroom? Yes or no? Why? Love them. I'm a fan of it.
Same.
I'm a fan
Hell,
of it.
hell yes.
Yes. They help get the job done efficiently. I can't compete with a vibrator even on my tongue's best day. So, yes, I'm a fan.
And a vibrator can't compete with you. Cause that's a whole different situation,
Right? Hands free,
Like
baby.
they're trying to make it mimic a person.
I'm hands free over here. You ain't got to do nothing. You just lay back and enjoy the ride, baby.
So, my first question: what song would you say best describes your sexual prowess? Ooh, I feel like my song should be a Prince song.
I thought you was gonna go with that just because you love Prince. Do me, baby. Do me, baby.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I can't. That's a good Prince song, but I just know it would be a Prince song that would describe it.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I
How
can
about
see
you?
that.
I want you to answer that.
A song that would describe me sexually. I don't know. Initially, it depends if I'm having sex, if I'm fucking. If I'm fucking bomb ass pussy, by the
What
dog
song is
pound.
that? Oh,
Have you
okay.
ever had some bomb pussy? Have you ever that? And then if we making love.
He's like, ew. Why you have to do that?
No. I was gonna say making love or having love, or I almost messed up. So,
Oh, okay.
it would probably be Jamie Foxx has a song on his first album, and it may be hard to find, but I think it's called "Until the Sun Comes Up." Let me look, and I'll let you know
Well,
for
side
sure.
note, babe, we kind of mad.
Just because you be
We
jocking
coordinated.
my
We so
style.
cute. What? Ain't nobody jocking your style, boy. This scotch and soda. Okay, but anyway, well, I'll go ahead and ask my next question.
All right, go ahead.
So this next question is, oh my God, do I want this on here? I didn't read it before. Oh no, this may be just for those that's in the chat, and I cut it out to finish episode. You ready?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Which of my friends would you most want to have a threesome with?
Ooh. The Jamie Foxx song was called "Don't Let the Sun Go Down." I believe that's the one I was talking about.
I don't think I've heard that one. I'm gonna have to listen to it.
Yeah.
You want to sing it for me?
No.
All right.
Which one of your friends would I most want to have a threesome with? And I'm taking it that your mom's off the list, right? So mama got these titties.
She been telling me all my life she ain't one of my little friends. No, she ain't on the list of friends.
Okay, fair enough. I think you know which friend it is. We've kind of talked about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
You know. which
All right.
one.
We don't want to share that. Okay, get to your second question.
What? Oh no. Your partner wants to have anal sex tonight. What's the first thought that comes to mind? What did she have for lunch?
I wouldn't want to do it that night without knowing.
Yeah,
but I understand you wanted to know.
Yeah. Because from what I'm told with anal, you kind of got to prep for that.
Yeah, you do.
You want to have a light load that day. Some salads, some fruits, something like that. You don't want to have tacos
you can't be reckless with the diet that day. And you have to evacuate as best you can beforehand.
Mm-hmm. So maybe a liquid diet that day.
Ooh, not liquid, because then you're running, boo. You don't want to be running. You want it to be able to stop.
Okay, that's true too. That's true too.
Yeah. What was we talking about? Oh, so we did the cards. We did the cards. I love that. But back to
today's topic.
He hates how slow I talk.
I've
been trying to speed up.
Farron talks like a toddler walks. It's just
I talk like I'm about to fall down.
You don't know where it's going. Has so many great things that we never get to because she is stumbling along. Her tongue just like
look. And yours be trying to move too fast, which is why you stumble over words.
So we both need to find middle ground. I need to slow down 25 words per hour. You need to speed up by 70.
By 70? I'm not that slow, am I, guys? Tell them I'm not that slow.
Tell her the truth in the comments. Tell her the truth.
Anyway, so today we're going to talk about dating single moms. And I want to talk about this specifically because I've never really dug into your experience with that, because I don't know, I just had the mindset, was like, I had a kid, you signed up for this. Like, that was how I thought about it for a very long time. And now just in reflection on our relationship, how we've grown, and you and the kids' relationship, I just really want to hear from you on that. Like, what was the conversation with yourself when you decided to settle down with a woman with a kid?
You talking about like dating in college, or you talking about like when I actually move out here?
Let's do both.
Well, in college, I was like, it ain't gonna make that much of a difference because she can't take the kid to school with her. I knew that it would, potentially slow down on how much we could hang out because you have to be a mom and stuff like that. But I wasn't that worried about it in college because I also wasn't financially responsible for this child. And I didn't feel the need to overstep my boundary and try to be a father figure initially because, the dad had said he wanted to be in the life. So, I wasn't that affected by it. When you guys moved out here.
Did I ever put any pressure on you about that?
No.
Okay. I didn't think I did, but, just thought I would ask. But what were you about to say?
When you moved out here, I initially, the first thing I thought was like, how we going to go on dates? The kid is so young. Didn't know what our outing life and our date life was going to be like, and also didn't know, what it would be like to have a kid in the house. Like, I was used to walking around in my boxers or walking around naked. My roommate at the time before I had moved to our new place was gone a lot, so I never really had to have on clothes. So, all of this was new to me.
So you kind of been a nudist for a while, huh?
I only started putting on clothes because of the kid.
Okay, because I don't remember you walking around naked that much when we were in college.
I was still getting into it then because I wasn't, happy with my body, but now just like, it's gonna be what it's gonna be,
Gotcha. So, what was the okay, now we're in the house with you. What was that transition like for you? Do you remember?
Yeah, first thing's putting on clothes. Shit. It ruined all my fun.
Can you move past that?
It was definitely a shock because it was like, okay, well, how do we have sex? Do we wait till she goes to sleep? Or there's still a sneak offs, the duck offs, all that type of stuff. And then it's like, how's this kid gonna see me? Like how's she gonna react to me? How is she, is it gonna be? Because I hadn't spent extensive time with the kid, so I didn't know she was gonna call me Mr. Rob for a while. She eventually called me Dad, or would she open up to me? Any of that type of stuff.
I remember when you suggested, because we discussed what she should call you, and you was like, she could call me Mr. Rob, and I was like, that is incredibly formal for you to be going inside of her mother. Like that was a very formal name to be using. Mr. Up was like, no, my kid's not calling you Mr.
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
That was so weird to
Yeah,
me.
but we didn't push it. She just kind of found her own groove of calling me
Yeah.
dad, and it felt good. It felt
Yeah.
good for. I've always kind of thought of myself as a protector, provider, and pleaser. So it was a different level of that when it's a child because they can't fend for themselves. Like if stuff didn't work out between me and you, it wouldn't have doubt in my mind. You would bounce back. You'd be okay. You'd be fine. But
Right.
in those early stages of developing that bond with someone you call your dad, and being a good example of a leader and provider, even for a young lady, it's an integral part of life. So I wanted to do the best that I could do with that.
Yeah. So, did you ever feel like a sense of
Overwhelming?
animosity? What were you about to say?
Overwhelming? Was it
Oh, well,
overwhelming?
that's coming next. But animosity regarding who had my attention or energy,
No.
anything?
I would
Okay.
never try to compete with the kid on that level.
I
Like,
mean, not that you acted on it, but
yeah,
just
no.
that fleeting feeling
No,
was
no.
there. Okay.
That never once entered my head. If anything, one of the things I loved most about you was how good of a mom you were. Like I tell you, I joke about it all the time, but I was like, well, she was my mom because you are so good with the kid. And I know you was like, well, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just trying to think what I would have liked as and
Yeah.
but you did a great job with it. The kid is a phenomenal person. She has a little quirks and stuff like that, but what person
Yeah.
doesn't? So I think you did a great job. I think you did a phenomenal job. I think we did a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, we did. Okay. So I was looking into because I know there's a ton of single moms out there, and I wasn't. We have not been together all of the kids' life, and
Mm-hmm.
he is not the kid's biological father. So when we were not together, he had no responsibility to the kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted that out there because I don't want to ever forget just, that time where I was by myself. And so there are other women by themselves
Yeah.
out there, and that dating is already weird, especially in this age of social media and dating apps and all that stuff. So dating's already weird, and then when you're dating with a kid
Mm-hmm.
as well,
It is
then
it is a red
it's
flag.
as right.
It is a red
Like,
flag.
I was telling a friend of mine, she was just getting back out there on the back in them streets or whatever, and was interested in this guy, and she was just looking, shit, he fine, but he saw that she had a kid and was like, she got a whole baby, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what they got to do with fucking? So, because I just felt like that's all she wanted, and he just assumed she wanted so much more just because she had a kid.
Well, it's not just
Or
that.
maybe he was looking at the fact that he wanted more, but not with somebody that had a kid.
You see a kid, you automatically think about, all right, we can't do spontaneous things. Like that was one of the things that I did think about. It's like we can't be spontaneous, be like, yo, let's go out of town this weekend, or come home and just do it in broad daylight or something like that, because we do have a kid. So like those type of things did sometimes creep into my head, and those thoughts like, what did I
Kind
get
of
myself
felt
into?
defeated,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
just like, yeah.
Because it is a real thing, like, and then you moving out here, neither one of us have family out here, so we didn't have a built-in infrastructure or support system. It was just us.
Us, right,
So
right. And that's goes into one of the things that men or just people dating people with kids should have in mind. But we're gonna say, for the sake of this, men looking to date single mothers, just just knowing that it's different because of the amount of time and energy they have to put into the relationship. is, or put into the dating or into you as a person, is significantly lower than if it was a person who did not have kids or
Yeah.
does not have kids. So and not saying that in a negative way. You have to find your groove, and don't stop inviting out a single mom
Yeah.
just because you're answering the question for her that she can't make it because she's a mom. Let her answer that question for herself. And that's why I asked you, and circling back to my question about whether or not you felt any level of animosity, was because I know that it can be hard for some people to accept that the kids come first. Like, especially the smaller they are, and because they are my wards, basically. Like, this kid is my responsibility, and whether you're here or not, I have to take care of this kid. Is like, that mentality, until you're dealing with someone who is like taking on that responsibility with
Right.
you. Then now I tell him in a heartbeat, like, you need to figure that out. Your daughter did this, like, that's on you. Like, that's between y'all. I'm out of it. And I love being able to say that.
Shifted. Because I
It's my
recognize
happy
that
place.
Farron and the kid had a much closer relationship. Obviously, they had spent every day of their lives together for the most part. So coming in with
Of
that,
the kids' life.
yeah, of the kid's life, coming in facing that is a little intimidating. And you don't want to win the person over with just gifts and shit like that. So it's like, all right, I really got to make a connection with this kid, which is also intimidating because I don't like kids. And so I didn't know what to do in that situation. Like, do we try games? Do we bond through music? And we bonded through a lot of things, music, games, but we also bonded through cars. Like, the kid is really interested in cars. So, I taught her how to recognize certain cars by the emblems on the front of the car, the back of the car, and she got really good at it. And we bonded through music too. So we will probably never have the relationship that Farron and the kid have, but
Yeah,
I'm thankful for the one that we do have and what we built. But it also took a lot of growing and expanding my mindset on my behalf because, I was raised a certain way. A parent says something to you, you get up and do it right then and there. And our kid just does not do that. She is not expeditious.
This Generation Z,
Listen.
baby.
And I had to learn to be accepting of the way that she does move and the way that she does handle business, because as long as the job gets done, and
Yeah.
in retrospect, that's what really matters. But it's jarring to see you tell a child something and they don't move immediately when that's the way you were raised and that's what you expect of all children. But some people just aren't that way, man.
And she full on will question why we're asking her to do something, or telling her to do something. And part of me is like, man, Sweet Val would be so disappointed in me. It's probably so disappointed in me that, I'm having this dialogue. I'm answering to my child. But then on the other hand, it's like, am I teaching her to just take orders? Or am I teaching her to ask questions, to be curious, to want to know? Like, it's this story about how for this past Thanksgiving, this woman had a ham. She cut the ham in half before she put it in the oven. And she was asked why she did that. And she was like, I don't know. That's what my mom always did. And so she goes to her mom and was like, Mom, why do we cut the ham in half before we put it in the oven? And the mom was like, I don't know. That's what my mom always did. Go to the grandmother, and the grandmother like, yo, why have you always cut the ham in half before you put it in the oven? Oh, I only did that because my oven was too small. Like, it's not even relevant to you anymore.
Yeah.
So yes, I want my baby to ask questions. Yes, I'm annoyed by the number of questions that she asks, or the way she stalls before she does something, or how she does things on her own time. But when I tell you that child is 100% her own person,
She really is.
not
It's
only
beautiful and
can we
annoying at
not talk
times.
her into doing anything, her friends cannot talk her
No.
into doing anything. And she goes toe to toe. She will go toe to toe with boys that are bigger than her at her school. Like, she does not care. And we did that.
Yeah.
But it definitely came because I've always given her a voice, because I didn't have one.
Yeah. And I
So
think that's important. I feel
yeah.
like that's what's going to be the bridge that connects us when
Hmm.
she does have some troubles or she has some weird situations
Yeah.
in life, that she's going to feel comfortable coming to us with those things and getting our opinion on what she may need to do or how she should handle a situation, versus trying to do it on her own or reaching out to friends that may have just experienced something like
Hmm.
that. Whereas we were like sitting here with all of this knowledge, like, hey, I'm
Hmm.
3 times your age.
Yeah.
I can help you with that. Or 2 times your age. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm 2 times your age. So,
um,
but yeah.
Something else that you can do if interested, if you're trying to navigate dating a single mom, is offer emotional support.
Mm.
Like
What's
you
that
don't
look
have
like?
to
What's that look like
pay.
when dating though? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like without overstepping your boundary, what does that look like?
So you don't have to offer advice. Like we've done an episode about, like, you don't have to fix everybody's problems in order to be like a good friend. So active listening.
Mm-hmm.
If there's something going on, then give them time to have that release.
Mm-hmm.
You can be that person that they can vent to about it, and you don't have to fix it. You don't have to offer any advice, no
Mm-hmm.
suggestions, no nothing. You're just there so that they have somebody to
Mm-hmm.
to.
Okay.
And at the end of that, like, to Google some words of encouragement. That's what I do when I'm trying to, like, write somebody a thank you card or something. I be like, I don't know how to structure nice words,
Right.
and so I'll Google
She
like
doesn't. Bless her heart.
messages of affirmation when you've lost a loved one,
Mm-hmm.
and I reply with what Google tells me to say.
I think it's also important to realize if you are going to date a single mom and it starts to get serious, y'all need to have a conversation about how discipline looks for both of you all. Because I was raised with spanking. I was brought up in that generation, and she was too. But I know people like Kev has never whooped either one of his children. Never. He feels like, why am I going to whoop you for something that you didn't know was wrong? And I get that. And now when he said it like that, that makes so much sense. I mean, it's different when, a child is doing something against your will or something that you deliberately told them not to do.
You
But like if
deliberately
they
disobeyed
did
me.
something that they didn't know was wrong, like whooping them seems a little extreme. It seems a little like slave versus master-esque.
Yeah.
Because I think there are other ways to discipline
Yeah.
children and just people in general. And the more that I get older, the more I am a firm believer in that. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
it may be a time for, either or, but now it's like,
Because I was very very sweet Val energy at first. Like, I wasn't quick with I would try to sit and talk to the kid. Find out, why are you doing this, or what was that? What was your thinking that led to blah 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 blah? When she was like a repeat offender of the same thing, then yes, I would whoop her.
yeah.
But then I was like, this ain't stopping her either, and now she just scared of me. And so once I realized that, like, really, really noticed that, I was like, there's no point in hitting her. There's other things we can do. So we had her doing burpees.
Yeah. That was one of the
Running suicides,
one
doing
of the efforts that I
burpees.
took was having her workout. She hated that. So it worked for a
Yes.
while, but then she just like ended up crying through the whole workout thing. So after that, I went to tossing her room. I was treating her like an inmate. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna find something that's gonna get through to you.
Even when we took her like video games and stuff, she was fine. She would reread the same book like 4 times throughout her punishment and be happy-go-lucky. She forget she was even in trouble.
Yeah. Because I mean,
So-
she did what typical kids did when she got the phone. She downloaded one game, then downloaded a whole lot of, got these charges on my phone, on my bill, and then she was like, texting people through the game. It's like, yo, you can't do that. You don't know who you're talking to. So she did a lot of typical kid shit, but
Yeah.
it was never like with malice intent. Or she was just a kid, you know. And to this day, she's very much a kid. She would very much rather be in her room playing games on her computer than hanging out with people. She's very much a kid who loves attention, loves to be hugged on, kissed, and told that we missed her and stuff like that. Very much like Farron. It's sickening how much they are alike. And it takes a lot of energy and emotion and just meeting them, because I found out, not quickly, but I found out that I was giving a lot of energy to people outside of the house in terms of hosting and just being there. By the time I get home, I'm
He
exhausted.
will be drained,
I'm all the way drained, and I
and we
can't
would
give
get the
them.
pets.
Yeah, I can't give them what I've given the whole world. And these
Yeah.
people, you know what I'm saying, they don't care about me after I left their presence. So I had to reassess the priorities in my life. So
Something else, and just in doing that and realizing that that shift was needed, early on, you realized it is that if he was very trustworthy. If he said he was going to do something, like I knew I was good in his hands. Like when I made the decision to move across the country to be with him, I knew I was good in his hands, and I knew that together we would be okay. So, and that was because I was able to trust you. Like that's a big thing when
absolutely.
because I'm not just handing me over to you. I'm handing, this kid over to you as well. And like, let's split this responsibility. So I have to be able to trust
Yeah.
you as a person, your morals, all of that.
Yeah. And that's another reason I say I had that conversation, because I remember distinctly one time when I had to leave to go to a show, and Farron was still at work. Now she only worked like maybe 6 blocks away from that crib, but I had to leave. But the kid had gotten in trouble. So when she came home, the kid was writing a sentence repeatedly on a paper because that was her punishment. And so, Farron, justified it and agreed with me in the face of adversity, adversity being a kid.
Yeah.
But when I got home, we talked about it. She was like, well, why'd you have to do this and this and this? She wanted to understand to make sure that the punishment was justified. And, we came to agreement on that. But like, some people won't like that. Some people won't like you disciplining a child the way that you chose to. So it's very important to have that conversation so that y'all are on the same page, so that doesn't cause more friction and more division between you and the kid or you and that person because of the way you handled that child. So
Yeah, absolutely. So I remember that. Good memory back. And another thing that you can do in your favor if you are dating a single mom is to stay flexible. That one was a big one because, like, we at the last minute we would lose babysitters or something cool would pop up at the last minute and we couldn't get a babysitter, and him shifting from being able to move and do
At the
whatever
drop of
he
a dime,
wanted to
baby.
do,
drop of a dime, baby.
having to think about,
Babysitter.
whether or not I could go and the repercussions, how my energy if he went without me, and like, because it was a few times like he pouted so bad, it was like, just leave, like just go without me, leave me here, like you were the biggest baby, but he would pout so bad. It was like, just leave me here. Just go have fun, whatever. And it was other times it was like, no, I really wanted you to be there. And so we would just sit at home and just be awkward and sad that we had to stay home, that we would miss out. So, so remaining flexible and being able to like shift if a going out date gets canceled and you're vibing with this person, then shift it to a stay-at-home date or something. Like, be able to
And we
flip
would do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Like something will get canceled. We would order pizza and watch a movie. Or play video games, and Farron will watch, and I'll convince her to get on the joystick, and she's screaming
I
the whole
would
time.
die.
I don't know what I'm doing.
That's the exact way I still play video games to this
She
day.
does. She really does.
Like when I play with the kid, she always does it to where I can follow her. Like we're in it together. And so, when we play Fortnite, she's like, stay down, just follow me. And she'll lead me into a building. She's like, okay, go over there, crouch down. And I'm just sitting there while she's shooting everybody. And she's like, come out, follow me.
She really was.
Hide behind that tree. I'll be back for you. It's like, okay.
Video games that Farron is good at would be all the things on Wii. The
Super
dancing,
Mario Brothers.
the dancing, the Michael Jackson thing, and
Ooh,
Wii
please give me a dancing game. Just Dance, Michael Jackson. Ooh, the Black Eyed Peas experience.
Black Eyed Peas, she was all in on those. But anything with hand-eye coordination when it comes to shooting or driving or fighting, she's out of it, child.
Honey.
She
Mama
is out of it.
screwed. So, and to jump to what you brought up about the discipline part, don't jump into disciplining somebody else's kid too soon. Like if they not setting themselves on fire or someone else on fire, like just let them kid, because that's probably what they do when it's just their mom around.
Yeah.
And just because it's bothering you don't mean it's a problem at home. So yeah, just evaluate the situation, scope out the scene. Don't be so quick to put your 2 cents in on how that kid should be raised.
It's very important to have that conversation for obvious reasons, though, everything that we've already touched on. But also, it's like, if the unthinkable happens or unplanned happens, and your partner gets pregnant, you got to remember, like, even if y'all don't work out, this is the person that's going to be raising your child. So you have to understand where they're coming from and also be okay with their parenting ways, because, like I say, if y'all split, this is the person that's going to be raising your child. And I've dated people in the past who had kids, and if I didn't like the way they was raising their child, I would literally stop talking to them. If you spend too much time out and stuff like that, you ain't like present in that kid's life. It don't matter if you got custody. Like, if you ain't making a difference in that child's life, I'm like, that's a turnoff for me. That's a big turnoff for me, because these kids, one, didn't ask to be here. They can't learn on their own. You're feeding them TV dinners or fast food every day. You setting this child up for failure, and y'all relationship is probably gonna be horrible. And you're also setting them up to be in the same cycle when they have kids. This is what they see. They'll be what they see.
Right.
So they might have a trash ass child, and y'all just gonna continue that horrible cycle. So you gotta like take out, like, jack off before you had a conversation, and really pay attention to the way people talk to their kids. Like, because honestly, that's what changed me and my mom's relationship. Like, I had a kid. I had to tell her at 13 that I got a girl pregnant. I had a kid at 14, and my mom was my best friend up until that point. And then after I told her that, she stopped talking to me and started talking at me, and that changed our relationship. That's what honestly made me leave the house, because I didn't like the way my mom talked to me. It hurt my feelings, like really hurt my feelings, because this is my fucking best friend. There was no one in the world I love more than my mom.
Yeah.
And when our relationship changed like that, it changed me on the inside. I became a different person. I wasn't as easygoing, and I was very more structured. I was very more rigid. I was very more, I got to do this by this time and this time, because I didn't want to be late. I took all the things I didn't like about my mom, which I would overlook previously, like her tardiness, her, sometimes lack of attention to detail, things like that. I'm like, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to be this person. And I took all of those things, and I mastered it. So it's a double-edged sword, because it helped me be who I am today. But at the same time, I lost a big chunk of my life in a relationship that me and my mom could have had, just because of the way we talked to each other, the way she talked to me, and the way we interacted. And I can never get that back, and it hurts when I think about that.
Oh. Well, thank you for sharing that, baby.
Yeah.
So back on the if dating single moms, because they need love too. Oh, I don't know what I thought I saw at the corner of my eye when you reached your arm behind your computer. I was like, he lost his arm. I don't know. Okay, so anyway,
hold on,
one
y'all
thing
often
to
quiet
remember.
y'all often quiet in these comments too. For the people that are watching this when it regularly comes out, y'all go crazy, do what you need to do. But the people in the Patreon, y'all still tapping in right now. I need y'all to make some noise in the comment
You're on
section.
top chat and not live chat. Maybe that's why.
I don't think so, because it still was show it there, I think.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's still the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, babe, it's the same thing. So please, when you're dating single moms, please remember they are not charity cases. And I feel this because I know there are some women who are hesitant to even say that they have a kid up front, because they don't want to be seen as, another statistic or just something, or just kind of pitied. But like, it's not a charity situation. Like, it was full on solely my decision to have my daughter. Like, I knew exactly what I was doing. I was no one's charity case. I was well taken care of. It was my decision to do that. And for somebody to feel like, oh, she gonna want me to pick up the pieces is offensive. I don't need you to do anything.
I I mean, that is true, but there are some people that do. There
There
are
are
some
some
people.
people who do, but that's when you judge, you watch the landscape. You
Mm-hmm.
pay attention to what's going on and the energy that, this woman is putting off, and you judge accordingly, but you don't just treat everybody like they looking at you to answer some prayers, cuz
Yeah,
that's not all of our stories.
that's just true. That is true.
And don't waste time, which I feel like this is across the board,
Mm-hmm.
whether you're dealing with a single mother or someone else or just anyone. Just don't waste their time.
Mm-hmm.
Just be upfront. Are you looking for a long-term thing? Can you see anything out of this? If you're like, I could never even be in a long-term relationship with somebody with kids, then don't even play date them.
Yeah, or just be honest about that. Like,
Yeah, like
I really appreciate the day and time that we live in right now, because we've always heard that women want just upfront and stuff like that, but we've also, a lot of us have been in a position where we were honest with people. It kind of backfired, or we didn't get the response that we thought we might have got. We hope we would have got, but don't let that deter you from being honest about what you want. If you are you looking for right now is sex, then be like, hey, I'm not really looking for anything right now. I'm having fun. We can keep this going and keep it casual.
shit, if
But
that's the case, then ain't even no point in bringing up you even have a kid. Keep
Well, I mean, I'm
them
just
out.
saying,
Keep them all the way out of that.
not necessarily, because it's like, okay, well, that's fine. I have kids, so you can't come to my house because I don't want to confuse
Yeah.
them about what it.
Yeah.
So it's still important to bring that up, but it's also important to be honest about what you want, because you be honest about what you want. This person may give you exactly what you want, but during that time, you might see something in that person. You're like, ooh, they actually have a lot of qualities that I would like in a life partner. And I might not have wanted somebody with kids. It might not have been what I was looking for, but right now this is turning into something else. But even when that happens, make sure you communicate that, because no one can read minds. If you've changed your mindset, but y'all started off just dating, and then you find out that person is dating other people. Now that you're in a different place emotionally, you're going to get upset, but you didn't tell that person. So it's very important that, like, when things change and from the jump, to have that open line of communication. And you might be like, oh, wait, it's just casual. There's no need to talk about that. So
Yes,
what?
it is.
If it's casual or not, if y'all start going raw, motherfucker, guess what? We need to talk about everything.
I was say, because you won't casually have a kid.
Yeah. Or casually catch something.
Or casually catch something.
So like, just, I think it's always
Super
easy.
gonorrhea
Just
is a thing, people.
It is. It's important to, like, just lead with what your intentions are, and also just do updates.
Yeah.
Do updates. That is, we do updates a lot.
We do.
Like,
We
hey,
do.
I just checking the climate, everything
And
good.
even
Anything we need to talk about?
sometimes, like, if we bring up something and as we're saying it, we'll be like, wait a minute, I'm projecting. Actually, this is a problem I'm having. Let me tell you. So it'll shift immediately. Like, just talk about it. Talk. And I just say, like, be honest with everybody. Just upfront. Friends, family, shit. Just
Yeah. Because it makes it
Ooh,
easier
child,
when people
save yourself the headache.
when people want to come to you about something, but if they already know that you ain't gonna be about that bullshit, or whatever it is they want to come to you is something you would consider bullshit, most times they'll just leave you out of it.
Yeah.
And now you saved yourself a conversation of having to tell somebody no, because it's hard to tell the people we care about no. You know what I mean? Because you care about them, obviously. But, like, if you be honest from the jump, like, what you is and what you're not going to do, what you are and what you are not going to do, then it makes it easier to have those conversations. Like, hey, look, I already told you.
Right.
That ain't the shit I'm on. So,
Yeah. And also remember that single moms are people too. They often are just looked at as, the people responsible for these sticky people running around. But they are moms too and have needs and all of that. That's why, like, my favorite thing to give at baby showers is a gift for the mom. I'm like, everybody is gonna be getting shit for this kid. but nobody's looking out for mom. And just in that transition, that weird body phase between I had a kid and now the kid is here, shit fit weird. You need stuff you never thought you need, and it's weird. So just that's why I focus on the mom, because you just have all the feels and emotions for even a baby shower. So just remembering that they have their own needs, their whole life should not and does not revolve around their children. The kids, because they're so damn needy, they just take up a lot of it, but it should not revolve around it.
True.
But that's mostly. Is there anything you want to share that you wish you had known beforehand?
I wish I knew how to love a little bit better beforehand. Cause I'm a good boyfriend. Well, I was a good boyfriend. I was a good friend.
Yes.
But when it comes to being a parent, it's a different type of love that you like. I loved a lot of people conditionally. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with you long as you don't fuck me over. And kids will sometimes fuck you over emotionally, financially, physically, all of that type of shit. And you still have to be able to say, hey, I still love this little fucker. I'm still gonna feed this little fucker and clothe and make sure they bathe and all that type of stuff, put a roof over their head. All of that type of shit. And it's one of those things, but because I didn't have the most experience with it, I've always felt like I was playing catch up with it. And then I also have to be comfortable in the way that I love. Like you can understand the way a person needs to be loved and work toward getting there. But at the same time, you have to also be like okay with the way that you can show love, long as you have intentions of changing to make sure that person is comfortable.
Right.
Because I didn't know how the kid needed to be loved. You know what I mean? Because I honestly didn't know how I needed to be loved.
Yeah.
I just, I like love. It feels good. I like gifts and stuff like that. But I didn't know that my love language was acts of service. Like I didn't know that and gifts until I read about it. So, find out what you love. Find out what you like and how you like to be treated. And then it makes it easier to digest when other people have something different that they need from you.
Not only find out how you want to be loved, but understand all of the love languages so that you can better identify them when dealing with people. Because after I read that book, I was able to immediately identify the kids and yours. And remember, and I wrote it on the whiteboard, and that's what led you into. Did you read the book, right? Yeah, that's what led you into reading it, because you were like, that's spot on. What she just find out that I don't know. And so it helps a lot understanding why you used to show me you love me the way you did, because then you display it the way you want to be shown it.
Yeah.
And so you were doing things for me that you understood to be acts of love or ways to display your love. And I was doing the same. I'm trying to give you all my time. And you're like, I don't need that, but I do like this outfit. And I'm like, and then you would try to buy me stuff. Like, look, I bought you this. And I'm like, that's nice, but give me all your time.
Expensive shoes. She'd be like, oh, this is great. And set it to the side. I'm like, can we watch a movie? I'm like, I just gave you those shoes. You don't want to put them on, walk around the house and stuff like that. But that wasn't the way she needed to love.
Why he so stressed out? Don't he love all this love I'm giving him? I'm, just
and I
all
love
in
love.
his face and space.
But I also needed
you needed
my
them
personal
Jordans.
time too. Like that was very important to me.
Yeah.
And going from being able to be in my room by myself when I lived with my roommate, or be in the living room because he's gone, to every room in the house being occupied potentially was very jarring for me. So just know that, if you are dating someone with a child or children, then that may happen. Especially if y'all move in together. Like, you're not going to have a lot of personal space unless one of y'all are rich or y'all are well off, living in the Midwest or the middle of America.
But and that may not be a I was just thinking, like, that may not even be a concern. Like, you don't even, it's one of those things you don't think about until you're in it. So think about that as well, because I know we were like up to our necks in dealing with that issue of him realizing, like, oh, I have like no personal space at all. I feel like I'm in that space now at home.
I can see that.
But so.
But it don't be seeming like you want the personal space.
No,
because even when I
close myself out on the patio.
Yeah,
or
but
I
like
go sit in the front of my car.
if I try to like stay in the room and stay in the office, you'll come up there and be like, "Hey, what you doing?" or something like that. So I just not assume, but I thought that it wasn't that of a high priority for you to have
No,
your
it's
own.
just habit for me to just make sure everybody's okay.
Okay. Why don't you take off for a week? Like just not do.
Anyway, so
No,
the
I'm saying like take off from a week of doing that. I mean, other than like when the kid is home, but like during the day, just because if I have a problem, I'm gonna come to you. I'm comfortable coming to you when I have something.
okay.
So won't you just be
So
like,
just stop being like, you need anything?
yeah.
Ugh,
Uh,
I don't know, honey. We'll see.
I mean, just try it for a week, or try instead of a week, try it for 3 days. Like these 3 days, I'm just gonna focus on me.
I'm gonna have to leave the house. Um,
You could do that.
no, I need to be. Oh, I need to know how to do it while you're there.
Well, I
Just
mean,
like you need to be able to not feel obligated to entertain me
right.
or
Well, I
whatever
mean, we
just
got
because I'm
this
in the
office.
room.
One of us could come up here, and I think you could come up here
Yeah,
and
I
work
was
in
just
Kev's office.
talking to Tony about coming here more
Yeah.
often and stuff, and he was like, "Yes, please do." So I am.
Yeah,
I am.
think,
I
and then
am.
it might bleed over into other areas, like
Yeah.
because I mean, I think it's important, especially now, because like we work together during this. She
Mm-hmm.
helps me with spelling is hard and all of those type of things. Then we spend all our time together at home for the most part. We go out together. We do date nights. It's a lot
Mm-hmm.
easier to have access to one another. But that you time is important too. Like I said,
Yeah.
that's when I process feelings. That's when I process
Ooh.
game plans. That's when I
Mm-hmm.
process emotional stress that I may be going through. All of that time is trying to be, divided amongst everything that we're doing. But if we're always together, when are you doing that? When are you taking time to decompress? When are you taking time to think of the next sweet thing to do? When are you doing any of that if you're always with that person? So it's important to have that personal
Yeah.
time. So
Absolutely. Won't argue with you there, babe. So, yeah, maybe I will. Oh my God, I almost died a little bit.
She did.
Hey.
she,
So, happy Mother's Day to all my mamas out
Hey,
there. I just
mothers.
wanted to show my single mama some love because I did not forget that life. And everything. So love y'all so much. My mama was a single mama. Love her
my
so
mom
much.
was too.
His mama was a single mama. Love her so much, even though she don't like me.
Oh, here we go.
That's another episode for another
Here
day.
we
So this has been a great episode. Join the Patreon if you
All
haven't
right.
already, because you would have seen this already live in studio.
And also
And-
be looking out because the tour is set. We got
The
9
Everything
dates.
Bagel Tour.
Yeah, it's not the villain tour, but everythingbagel.com, everythingbageltour.com, or tohearmore.com. You can get tickets from either one of those. Anyway, we appreciate y'all.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jazzy, we are bringing CT and Tangerine back. We
Yes,
absolutely
we definitely are. We got to
do
get
a whole
back.
episode
Yeah.
of the cards because I think that's going to be great. Getting to see that side of
yes,
CT.
that
is-
was a
is
lot
dope.
of fun. I
Yeah.
enjoyed them.
So we appreciate y'all watching as always, man. Make sure y'all are following and subscribe to all of our platforms. You're going to be seeing a lot more from Farron. She has a new show that she's working on. I'm not going to tell you what it's about because I'm going to let her do it, but she's very excited about it. So be looking out for that.
Yes, Patreon will get it first.
Yeah. For
Yes,
sure. Other than that, man, I'm to hear more.
And I'm Farron Moore.
We'll see you next time on another episode of
More to the story.
Peace, guys.